It has been a little while since I've done a video on this channel, and now I somehow have 4 YouTube channels. And I would love to say I'm one of those guys who are like, oh, they're great, oh, successful. I'm going to show you how your YouTube can be successful. Yeah, I'm on the other end of that spectrum. I'm going to show you how you can make a YouTube channel and have nobody watch. But I'm getting people to watch the other ones. See, I've been one of those people of a lot of faith, and I just do what I do and I put it out there, and you know, what will be will be. And it doesn't always work fantastically, especially like trying to meet up with the idea of success that I have in my modern culture here. But I do get to live in a place where I get to come enjoy this sunrise every morning. So, you know, success is variable, I guess you would say. Either way, I have finally, with the new ones I'm finally putting together now, I'm actually doing the whole keyword thing. I'm actually thinking about SEO optimization, which historically is just something that I didn't even want to think about. But I'm doing all those things and treating YouTube like a search engine. And so I have my Steve McAllister channel. This is just me being a human being now. And then I have my Steve McAlphabet channel, where I'll talk more about ABC squared economics, and then I play music and poetry and that sort of thing. And then I have my Jesus Said Stuff channel, which is pretty much about the book that I just put out, about all the stuff that Jesus said, and revisiting those things. And then I have a Steve McAlphabet ASMR channel, because last week I got one of those Blue Yeti microphones that helps you record like ASMR type things, and I just thought it was amazing. And there were certain pieces of work, pieces of literature that I really wanted to put out there. And I would love to have people revisit. I'd love to revisit them myself. And so I'll be recording some of those, and maybe like I'll release like one a week or something like that. But those are the different things I'm doing here while I'm in this space, because, you know, I had intended to be in, where should I be right now? Probably in California right about now. Maybe actually all the way up to Washington or stuff. But I had intended this summer to ride my motorcycle to all 48 states. And then this opportunity came up to house sit here at this house, and the motorcycle needed a lot of work. And I started really thinking about it, and I was thinking, is this something you really need to do, or is it something you just want to do? And it was just something I wanted to do. And I'd already ridden to all 48 other states, and so I said, you know what, maybe I need to do more here. So for that, I'm using this time that I have in this house while I am unemployed, basically in my usual endeavors. Like when I come to Sarasota, usually I'm working as a tour guide and as a substitute teacher. But there are no tours going on right now, and there's no school going on, so I can't do those things. And it's just too hot in Florida during the day to go out and do anything. So I'm focusing on what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on these videos and writing more. I got myself a keyboard, so I'm learning how to play piano. And these are all things I'm just doing as a human being. So I figured I'd just make a video about my little human venture here and what's going on. And for any of you who are watching, fantastic. It's always a new adventure, always exciting to accept life as it comes. And I am just beyond grateful for what I have going on now. I am playing some music in Arcadia this Saturday night with Ray Storco on the drums. And so that'll be fun there. And I do intend to get out and play more come fall. But I'm kind of, in the summertime in Sarasota, I kind of hibernate. And so once that sun actually comes out and starts shining, it gets, you know, up in the 90s here. And yeah, I don't want to be outside in it. But fortunately, I get to be inside. And I get to do all these things. So I'm getting some ideas of what I'm going to be writing now. One thing I'll be releasing is this poem. 5,000 words is what I wrote on what happens in the cabinet of the U.S. president, of those various departments. We have 15 departments right now that serve our country, and I went through and poetically described what they all do. So I'll be releasing that later because there has been this idea festering in my mind for a while about running for president of the United States. And I love the idea because it's so extraordinarily ridiculous that I just like the idea of ridiculous things like that. But two, I do have these ideas of ABC squared economics and other things that I think we should consider that I speak to or want to voice that no presidential candidate, especially ones who belong to the Democratic or Republican Party, the ideas that I have that they're never going to have. They're not allowed, basically. And so I'm not a big fan of either the Democratic or Republican Party. Okay, I think both of them are vile. They're both evil, and that is the one of the biggest things we need to overcome is our complete and utter allegiance to those two private corporations. But that's another story. I've been giving a lot of thought and putting it out there about the possibility of me actually running for president because it's so outlandish. I think I might even have a shot. Challenge is not really a job I want, not really what I do feel really called to do. But I did feel the need to speak to it, so I'll be releasing those poems later on, and I'm sure I'll be discussing that more as I write a little bit more about it. But I felt that I was just doing the whole Jesus thing, and I feel that I need to do more than that, you know, because I appreciate Jesus and all that, but I'm not a Christian. I'm not trying to convert anyone to that, but I felt inclined to converting Christians to becoming followers of Christ. That's what I would like to see. I would like to convert Christians to be followers of Christ. But in the meantime, here is Poncho and Blue and Dory. And Poncho is funny. If he's ever out of his cage, he follows me around. And, it's kind of interesting. But this is my daily morning walk where I come out. And of course I'm walking barefoot because you've got to touch the earth. I feel it's important to touch the earth. We are from the earth. And most humans, especially Americans, never touch the earth. Yeah, never. Their feet are always covered, or else they're walking on some kind of surface or something. And I think it's important. It's grounding. So I'm trying to ground here and and find some balance in my life, because I've been known to be a bit of an extremist from time to time, and all of that. And I think because of my history of like living for a year without using money, the fact that I'm don't really have much of an income right now, really doesn't affect me all that much, you know. I still am a great believer in the provider of everything I've ever experienced. And that provider, that creator, has always provided. It's just, you know, I can't even say it's faith. It's based on fact. It's based on the history of how I've been provided for. So I don't worry about too much stuff. And those are the teachings from Jesus Christ that I can kind of resonate with, you know, that everything's under control, even though it's beyond my control, and it may not always work out in my ego's favor for things. But as I live my life as a, agent of change, agent of goodness, agent of love, whatever, I'm just here to serve the world that I'm in. That's it. And so for me, it's not always about the outcome. Obviously, it's hardly ever about the outcome. You know, I mean, the books that I've written weren't written with me being a best-selling author in mind, okay? Now, I won't lie and say those ideas didn't pop into my head, and there wasn't the hope that, oh, this book will really be popular, people will really like it, and all of that. But the books that I've written, like Money, Sex, Power, and Faith, and Jesus Said Stuff, and even ABC Squared Economics, are more about, you know, offering up a different perspective on these things than most people don't have. are incapable of having. And I think those are the things that I've put out as an artist, not for my own glory or anything, but just because I think that it's a service that I offer. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do with my life, is offer it as a service. But it seems like a lot of the things that I'm the best at aren't really services anybody wants sometimes, you know, because a lot of things that I feel good or want to do, you know, a lot of other people do them well, and a lot of them a lot better than me, you know. So even though I'm playing music on Saturday night, I have no doubt that within an hour of me, there are a lot better musicians out there, a lot better songwriters, a lot better performers. But I'm doing it because I can, and I want to, and in that regard, it is fun for me. But I also do feel it's a service to share the songs that I've written with other people. And so I'll continue to do all of that. And I don't know, I'll eventually I'll post some more videos on here, and maybe they'll be more coherent or anything. But I just wanted to revisit this here, and be able to talk as a human being, Steve McAllister, because the other ones are more pointed on various niches of my life. And this has been the big challenge of my life, is how do I communicate who it is I am and what I have to offer with the world? Because I've, you know, always been attracted to a number of different things. And even here, today, I wake up one day and I want to do this. I wake up another day, I want to do something else. And I allow myself to go with that flow. Now, whether it's actually helpful for my attention deficit disorder or not, I don't really know. But I am able to accomplish some things that way. And I get to live this life, so it's all good. It's a little lonely in this house all by myself, but I need that solitude to get done what I need to get done. So I'm grateful for it. If you want to come by for a visit, you let me know. And make a cup of tea or something like that. But I am just so grateful to have this opportunity. Not only to spend the summer in this house, but also just, to come out here every morning and just be at peace. I'm just grateful. Whether that will actually lead to anything more, I don't know. But I'm hopeful. And I know that all the little things that I do, me trying to sell who I am or what it is that I'm doing, or sell my books and stuff like that, not always been my greatest strength, but I'm glad that I've done what I've done. Even if no one ever reads the books that I do, or even if they read them after I'm dead, or never at all, it was still a process for me to process all this information, and at least for me to come to grips with, okay, this is the world that I'm in, and I'm a little more peaceful about living here, a little more excited for what the future holds. And I'm grateful to have these opportunities. So I figured now that I have 4 different YouTube channels, and 4 is my favorite number of balance and all that, then I'll balance out my use of them. That's part of my goal here for this whole thing, and I hope they're of some service, and I hope you dig them. If you do, please let me know, communicate with me, because I am a human being and I really do appreciate human connection. So, if you like anything I do, let me know. And if you don't, well, that's okay. There's over 8 billion people in the world. They're probably one of them is doing something you might like. So hopefully that works out for you. Either way, I'm signing off for the day. See you later. Have a lovely, lovely day. Bye.